That was really fun. Well, 2 weeks almost, I guess, a week and a half, and was a really fun event. So I had a good time at the pit stop contest last night. The guys finished third, so that's the best they've ever done there. I thought they were really competitive. I think if we get back to normal pit stop and not push the car, we'd have a real good shot. So the 48 guys were like monsters pushing that thing. But so that was fun to be part of that. It's always a fun event doing a pit stop tonight, qualifying, and the unique format tomorrow night, and everybody racing for $1 million. So I'm excited to get on track here for a little bit and see how our car drives and go from there.
Okay, questions now for Matt. We'll start here with Mike and work our way around.
Mike Muller, MikeMuller.net. We thought for years that your pit crew was like the best in the business, but last night we were talking with some other teams, and they said, no, it's not really the pit crew, it's the driver. The driver gets on and off pit road better than anybody else in the business. Is that true? I mean, who else gets on and off pit road, and how are you so good at that?
I don't know that I really am that good at it, but I think I have a really great pit crew. I think last night, I mean, it has a lot to do with pushing the car and all that too, and how athletic the people are and all that. So I mean, I was pretty proud of my guys. They had the individual front tire changer award and got beat right at the end there and finished second in that thing. So that was good. Gasman did really good. So them guys do a really good job. But it's certainly got to put it all together. Not just the races, but pit road these days as well for track position. And I mean that counts from the time you get on to pit road to the time you get off pit road and get up to speed. So I mean we work hard on all of that, but I think everybody does.
Who else has a question now for Matt? Let's go to Sean and then Kenny.
Sean Bell, Fox Charlotte. What separates the elite drivers from everyone else in the sport?
Oh, I don't know. That's a tough one. Man, I don't know. I mean, everybody's a little different. I mean, I always feel like coming to the racetrack, having fast cars is the most important part, and having the whole team, working together with the driver and the pit stops. And I mean, I think that whole unit has to work good together, and it's certainly, certainly a team sport. So I always feel like the combination is really important. Obviously, your equipment, but I think the crew chief driver combination is all really important. I think if you look at the guys who have won, especially multiple championships, most of them have done that, with the same driver, crew chief, team, combination. So I think that combination is always one of the most important things. Yeah.
Let's go Kenny, Viv, and then David Newton. Go ahead, Kenny.
Kenny Bruce Sporting News. Did you have to switch banks?
Switch what?
Banks with a sponsorship?
No.
No? Does your team sort of figure out a strategy for this race when they come out and say, here's how it's going to be run with all the segments and everything, or do you just kind of go out there and see how it goes and then try to decide on the fly?
Well, it changes every year. Obviously, the rules change and the format changes, and I think this year it's I'll have to see how it all plays out. But it seems like one of the more interesting formats, especially for strategy. Because somewhere along the line you're going to need fuel and tires. But also it's going to be important to win, more important to win one of them segments than it is where your track position is after the third or fourth segment or whatever, So I think that you're going to see some people doing some different things, to try to get that track position and try to win one of them segments to get on pit road, first for that last segment, because everybody's obviously, most people anyway will probably just do a stop and go. So it's going to be important to, have your tires and fuel, but to try to win one of them segments so you can get on and off pit road first. But yeah, we do, I guess I didn't answer your whole question here, we do talk about strategy and think about it a lot. Jimmy and I have been talking about it, on and off for a few minutes here and there for a while. So, I mean, a lot of it plays out, it depends how you qualify tonight, how the first segment goes. I think you're going to kind of, base your strategy off that. I mean, if you can qualify in the front, you can, be fortunate enough to win the first segment, so you're going to be the first guy on pit road. You'll probably do your strategy different than you would if, you get into the third segment or fourth segment and you haven't won one.
Let's go with Viv and then David Newton. Go ahead, Viv.
Viv Bernstein, New York Times. I think it was last week, maybe the week before, you were joking about feeling sorry for Hendrick Motorsports because they hadn't won. And I guess I'm wondering, is the perception of Hendrick any different? They didn't win the title last year. They didn't win a race till Darlington. Do the rest of the drivers, the rest of the team sort of look like they're not as dominant, they're not as invincible as maybe they used to be?
Well, first of all, I wasn't joking. I never joke about anything. I'm always serious. Man, I don't know. I mean, whenever I think of Hendrick, I think of championships and race wins. I mean, 200 Cup wins is crazy. I mean, it's hard to ever feel like they're not a contender, ever feel, sorry for them guys because they haven't won. It's already 10 races into the season, they haven't won a race yet. I mean, it's pretty hard to sit and feel bad, for somebody like that. So, yeah, I was obviously kidding a little bit about that. It wasn't like they were gone or they're going anywhere. I mean, they have, all them cars have ran really good at certain times. I know Jeff's had a real bad run of luck, but yet he's been real fast. Was in position to win Martinsville and a few of them races. So them guys in that organization has been a force for as long as I've been watching the sport.
Go ahead, David.
Yeah, Matt, David Newton, ESPN.com, over on this side. Dale Jr. was in here earlier talking about his 2000 win in the All-Star Race and how that earned him respect and all, and you guys were coming into that. What do you remember about that night of him winning it? Do you see a different Dale Jr. now than you saw back then?
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of things change, through the years, obviously, but a few things I remember about that. I remember, I think everybody's seen a picture of his dad going down there and giving him a big hug and his hat almost getting knocked off and all that. That was pretty cool. You could see the emotion down there. I remember him winning that race, and then that really, went into the next week and us winning our first race at the 600, because he already won Texas earlier in the year and moved up to Cup at the same time. And there's always a lot of comparisons. And we moved up from the Busch Series to the Cup Series, and we're racing for Rookie of the Year and all that. And after he won Texas, I was certainly dying to get a win as well and hoping we could win our Rookie Year as well. So I remember winning the All-Star Race, and then he went and dominated the 600, and they got off on the last set of tires or pit stop or something, and we were able to capitalize that and win the 600 the next week. So it was a pretty cool couple weeks. But yeah, I think winning that race and being part of that race was big for him. I don't even believe that I was in that race. I don't think we qualified for I think we were in the Open and didn't qualify. So I remember watching it on TV. Say what?
Would winning this week help him recapture some of that respect and that swagger he seemed to have back then?
Well, I don't know about the swagger part, but I mean, I don't think he's ever lost any respect. I think he's well respected in the garage, and everybody knows he's got a lot of ability and can win races and championships. So I don't think that he's lost any of that respect, at least in the garage area.
Right behind David is Melinda, and let's go with her.
Hey, Matt, Melinda Adams, ESPN. I just got in here, so if you answered this, I'm sorry. Do you have a favorite All-Star memory, like, one of your favorite memories from this race?
Yeah, that's easy. When we won it in 2004 would have to be my favorite memory. So I think that was the year Newman won a whole bunch of them races on their pit strategy and different things. And when they got out front, they were just always so fast. And I remember he didn't get tires in that last segment, and we did. And I was amazed how hard it was to get around him when we had new tires on, and he never even stopped. So we raced extremely hard that last segment for the win, and it was pretty cool. We were able to beat him and come out of here with a victory.
Right in the middle in the red shirt, Jeff, raise your hand.
Hey, Matt, Jeff Hood of Racing Today. You talked about your favorite memory. What about your favorite memory of this race that didn't really concern you going back to the 80s, early 90s, so many clashes here at the end? Anything stand out for you throughout the history of this race?
Well, probably the ones that everybody else thinks about, Earnhardt passing in the grass and the 92 race with the wreck at the start-finish line, and probably the one where I guess it was Rusty that spun out Waltrip, right? That was one you remember seeing, and that was funny too, because I didn't realize for a while it was Todd Parrott, and after he worked for me, then I realized it was him, knocking the guys down, pushing the car back in there, and throwing an elbow at them, and the crew's kind of fighting and stuff. A lot of guys that I still know today, Hammond and all them guys. So that was I remember watching that one. That was kind of a cool one to watch.